If you've ever used Excel to manage data like customers, projects, or inventory, you'll know it works up to a point. Then the file starts getting bigger and slower. More rows, more users, more moving parts. And things start to break. People overwrite data, there's no control over who can change what, and sharing it with others who don't use Excel becomes a problem. And that's usually when you realize the file isn't the issue anymore, it's the way it's being used. You need something that can handle multiple users, control data entry, and give people a proper interface. But most tools that solve this feel like a big step up in complexity. So in this video, I've partnered with Zite to show you how to take an Excel file you already have, like this, with data for customers, opportunities, and interactions, and turn it into something much more robust, with structured data, controlled access, and an app interface your team can actually use. Let me show you what that looks like. Here I am in Zite. I'll start by uploading the Excel file containing my CRM data to Zite. I'll paste in the prompt, which says, build a database-driven app using the data in the attached Excel file as the foundation. It should have the following interfaces for users. Customer details enable the users to look up customers and extract their interactions and related information. An active leads report, which lists active customers and their related information. Data entry interfaces for salespeople to enter new customers, add and edit interactions, and update opportunities, etc. No complex prompting, just a few simple instructions. Let's click Build It and see what it produces. It starts by understanding the file and data, scoping the task, identifying the back-end structure, and front-end pages. Okay, it's completed the preliminary work, and it's asking me if I'm happy to create the database. Obviously, you'd check what it's proposing, but for the purpose of the demo, let's go ahead and create the database. It's now building the database structure, creating the customer lookup and active leads report I asked for, and designing the data entry forms for the salespeople before performing quality checks for functionality. Now it wants to know if I want to import my data from the spreadsheet. I'll go ahead and import them so I can hit the ground running. Now it's asking me if I want to map the customers across the three tables. This will allow me to cross-reference the data, so I'll go ahead and click Approve here. Now it's designing the user-friendly app layouts, finalizing data connections and interactions, and ensuring everything runs smoothly together. Alright, this is the app it built. We've got tabs for customer details, active leads, and data entry. And all of this started with an Excel file and a single prompt. Here on the left, you can see the steps that it went through to build everything out. So what we've got is a full build log of how Zite has taken my Excel file and turned it into something much more structured. And of course, I can continue to iterate and have it make further changes and enhancements. For example, let's ask it to change the color scheme to a dark theme for all pages, reports, and forms. You can see it thinking through the colors, understanding what colors will work well together, and the need for contrast. And wow, just like that, it's done. And it looks incredible. Of course, you can give it a color palette to follow using your brand colors, but this is super impressive. Okay, let's test it out in the preview pane here. I'm currently viewing the customer lookup. So if I'm a salesperson, I can come here and search by name, email, or ID. Let's look for Christopher Daniel. He's active. I can see the interactions and the opportunities. Going back to the list, let's clear it out, and we get a full list of all of our customers. The active leads report gives me an overview of my pipeline, and I can filter by industry. And in the data entry view, I can add a new customer, or I can search for an existing one. Let's choose Christopher Daniel again. And here I can add interactions, edit those interactions, and under opportunities, I can add opportunities, and so on. What's interesting here is I didn't ask for this exact layout. It's designed this based on the data, and you can see it just works. Everything I need as a salesperson is at my fingertips. Let's test it out. We'll add a new customer. Let's put Angus in the healthcare industry, and we'll put them in as a prospect. And from here, I can log new interactions and add opportunities. And there's a lot more here than I expected, especially from such a simple starting point. Now, if you're familiar with app building, you can go into edit mode in the top right. And here you can customize individual elements. Or at the bottom, just tell it in natural language what you want it to customize and have Zite do it for you. And for the programmers amongst us, you can view and edit the code directly. Now, if we jump into the Workflows tab, this is where you can see the logic Zite's created to power the app. Each of these workflows is basically a task the app can perform. At the top, we've got Get Customers, Save a Customer, Get Active Leads, and so on. This handles the searching and listing of customers, and that's what drives the interface. Clicking on these gives us a breakdown of the individual steps. Now, this app works on its own, but you can also connect it to things like Teams, email, OneDrive, Outlook, and more, and even AI tools, depending on how far you want to take it. In the database view, we've got the individual tables, so customers, interactions, and opportunities, and you can work with the data, adding fields, including links to other tables, lookups, and formulas, just like you might in Excel. And because this is now structured properly, I don't have to worry about breaking formulas or people editing the wrong thing. You can set up users and control who has access to your app. And when you're ready, click on Publish to share your app. I'm going to share it to the web, so I'll click Publish. I've got a link, let's copy it, and we'll go to a new tab and paste in the link. I need to sign in, so let's do that. I'm logged in, and this is the experience my users will have. Click on a customer. I can explore the interactions and opportunities. I can get my active leads report. It's super responsive and intuitive to use. And there's no access to my backend, so they can't break anything. And if my requirements change, just go back into the app builder, make your changes, and reshare it. And this will push the changes out to my users. So if you've built something in Excel that's starting to feel a bit stretched, Zite is a really natural next step. You get to keep the structure you already understand, but move into something that can handle multiple users, control access, and give people a proper interface to work with. If you want to try it out with your own data, there's a link in the description and pinned comment where you can get started for free, and you'll get an extra 50% credits to use as well. That link also helps support the channel. Thanks for watching.